Welcome back to the Shire. It's Tony, and let's find out what's happening at Hobbit Racing. In fact, let's find out what happened at Hobbit Racing in September, and let's find out what's happening in October. Gotta tell you, my family got really ill. We all had the flu in September, and so Hobbit Racing got a little bit behind, but we managed to get in a nice race. Got some great footage for NSR GT and GT High Performance, but what's happening to Hobbit Racing right now? We have got a lot of new selection that came in for me, including this beauty right here. Oh, I can't wait to go through this car. We'll give it a little bit of an unboxing at the track, and we got two more coming through as well that we'll take a quick look at here. Here we go again. It is an exciting time. More unboxing at Hobbit Racing. A little bit of oil on the track there, guys. Oil less or run those cars on your test strip before we race. We had a great race this past weekend. Oh, don't cut the invoice. Professor Motor in the house here, at least their hands on this box today from Saline, Michigan. Awesome stuff here. Speaking of this past weekend, okay. Got our invoice here that I almost sliced through. Get this out of the way right away. So, got a couple more Piranha motors just because of the simple fact that, we run in our GT High Performance, DTM, Slotted Classics, and Can-Am, even though we grandfather in the Mabuchi from Thunderslot. We run 21,500 to 23,000 RPM motors at about 165 to 170 grams of torque. And, well, these motors fit the bill, and boy, they look better made than they've been in the past too. And Piranha motors, good motor. All right, let's get down to the real business here, the real business at hand. We raced Trans Am, and I can't remember who it was. Oh my gosh, my brain is not functioning well today, but a couple new ones. Maybe it might. I think it was UC Slot Cars. We'll give them a shout out here, and he was retuning something that didn't come out of the box well, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, how did I miss that release? Well, guess what? I didn't miss the release. It's right here in my hand. Oh yeah, let's unwrap. Let's unwrap. Oh, another Castrol car. Oh my gosh. Anything in the way here other than my thumb to get this open? Wow. Look at that. 71. Let's get. Oh, I wasn't even on the camera. Maybe, perhaps. Did I even show that? Did I even show that I just unwrapped this? I hope I did. Wow. Oh my goodness. Now I hope I don't run into any mechanical issues, but if I do, there's nothing that I can't solve. I know that these electric cars occasionally present you an issue where this is completely fully screwed in, not just a twist lock. Occasionally they present you an issue where maybe your running gear and other things aren't coming into play as well as you'd like them to be on the rear of this car. And I've got, look at the amount of slop that has right there. That's just, wow, I can move that back and forth there's at least a whole millimeter in between there. But that's not the point. We won't be running any of that in that variety. The only thing we'll maintain for Trans Am is the chassis, probably the front wheels, maybe the rear wheels, or the rear, if I can keep the inserts or do something interesting to make an insert, or just get the insert and paint it that way, where we'll have some silver on the edge and the black in the middle. And then otherwise, it's just that gorgeous, gorgeous body that Peter is sitting inside of. So let's take a look at this just the detail, and yet not so much detail. It's just a very, very simple liveried car, and you guys know by now, if you've seen it, that name right there, that's the oil can livery that I collect. So that is just a gorgeous car, dramatically different, the two different variants of the Camaro. This car looks like it's going to be a little bit more planted than perhaps the other versions that I weight down in the front that are the more thinned out versions. But that's just gorgeous detail, right? I don't think anyone's ever questioned the detail on these scaly cars. Always got your side pieces. Sometimes you got to just double check to make sure they're in there well enough. They kind of do snap in and snap out. Boy, oh boy, that's awesome. We'll end up with a Predator motor inside of there. Now, in case you didn't notice, there was another car inside of that box that I just had. Oh, I just had to have. Total Energies BMW M6. Right, I said it the other day with my M8. These were short-lived, and I think BMW is going to sit in the GT3 category with the M4 now for a while. But they had these short-lived variants where they raced the M8, and then they raced the M6. This is cool, and this might have even been beforehand. I think they raced the M6 before they raced the M8. But this was talking to me. I've had great success with sideways. Oh, get out of there. I've had great success with the sideways GT cars, and this looks no different, although I'm hoping that rear spoiler is not attached. I don't think it is. I think that my McLaren 720 came the same way, otherwise that's crushed, but I highly doubt that we would have picked up a car and had it be sent to me that way. Too much trust in those retailers out there, especially in this particular case. So let's get the tape out and let's take a look at this car. Not that the Trans Am doesn't excite me, but I think I had my eye on this car for even longer since it's been out there, far, far longer than, sorry, we're gonna come off camera here while I cut this for a minute. I've had my eyes on this car far longer, as it's a much, much older livery, much, much older slot car than the Skelectric. I can't get my thumb in there. There we go. Yes, of course. And see, not only that, but the stanchions. The stanchions are completely separate. So you get to do your own thing. Even in the case sometimes Sideways has given you, and there you go. Sideways has given you some of the extra decals or decals, depending on what you prefer. I think they've given me some tire decals, which I will take advantage of. I love doing that. You've got the Walkenhorst logos in here that maybe go somewhere. I'd have to look. Boy, I'm having a tough time with the camera today, folks. Excuse me. I'm just missing the camera. You've got the BMW Walkenhorst. You've got some tire markings for some Michelin Pilot Sports. I think they are, unless those are Pirellis or something like that. And then it looks like you've even got 3 BMW logos right there. So let's take a look at the car. That's just a pretty car, even without the wing. That is sleek. That is sleek. Oh, man. That's gorgeous. That is just a low rider. Wow. Wow, that is a great-looking car. Man, the M8s from Scale Auto are great-looking, and boy, oh boy. That M6 is something else, too, right there. Great stuff. This will fit right in with GT High Performance, and that's where the Piranha comes into play. I'll put the Piranha in there. Let's, I'll just twist half. I think it's a half twist. Every once in a while, the one thing that I've been noticing about sideways cars is they're very, very hard to get out of the case. My McLaren was this, there we go. My McLaren was the same way. It's just a half turn with your sideways cars, right? Your sideways cars are just your GTs, your Huracan, your BMW, your McLarens. They're just in right there, but this guy is, think of it, hey, that's not a bad thing, right? Really good high-end components in this car. All metal gearing. We'll see how that goes. This motor is the Baby Raptor. Don't knock it.
That motor can be used for us in GT, in NSR GT of all things. We don't race these against each other. In terms of the GTs, the NSR GT stays in a class by itself, but that motor can come in handy for me later. But just a nice pod, a very nice, flexible to a degree. It's their hard chassis, but it's got some good flexion to it. Plastic in the front wheels, aluminum in the rear wheels, good metal gearing, a very nice chassis, a really good overall setup from sideways for their GT Le Mans GT3 cars. And this livery was just screaming at me, begging me to come get it. And I had to. Nice Total Energies. I'll get some nice money shots in front of the Total Energy sign across the way and the back stretch when I have this tuned and put together. So that is just a nice car. I like the matte. You got some black matte. I didn't even notice that. I thought this was actually all shiny. Black matte to go against the blue, light blue, and red. Matte finish on the hood. Very cool. So yeah. So there you have it. You know, new to me, but then something old and something new. We got the 2018, is that what we're looking at? The 2018 and BMW and the 1971 Camaro. So just beautiful stuff, excitement. We got tuning ahead of us, and that is just meaningful to me. Both of these classes, maybe more the Trans Am class is more of the tuner's class, especially since with Trans Am, most folks don't keep the rear setup the way that it is. We do aftermarket wheels. We put the Predator or an 18K motor in there besides a Predator. I like my Predators. And we're really changing the gears, and we're doing some good tuning work up front for weight and other things at the front.
Thank you, Professor Motor. Let's switch gears to a newcomer, to me anyway, and see what Amanda's Hobbies got for us.
I feel like I've been waiting for this box for almost a year. Now, I know a lot of these European slot car manufacturers, well, a lot of these manufacturers have release dates that match up with their distribution in Europe, and it might not be the distribution in the United States. Shoot, it might not even be when the distributor that receives them in the United States sends them to the rest of the retailers. But oh my, we have a friend watching, and I can tell you, this is going to be worth the wait. And I also want to give out a shout out to Amanda's Hobbies. You know, I gave them a chance on several cars leading up to this point, and this was a pre-order, and they gave me an opportunity to pay a deeply reduced price. In fact, I think I only paid $74.99 for a $99 slot car. And sure, are they newer to the slot car retailers online? Yes. Sure. Are they probably navigating their way through and they're not as popular as some of the other ones? Of course. But you know what? Everybody needs to have a little bit of love. And so I've even got a discount code on here for my next order. So I felt like going with them and giving them a shot. Everything looks packaged very well. I've got a nice invoice here showing me what I got. And most importantly, oh, my goods are protected. So let's get it out of here. If you don't know what it is, well, you'll know in a second, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm going to unwrap from inside of here. It is the following year, and it is the sister car that also won the 24 hours, the Rolex 24 hours Daytona. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Wow. The wait was well worth it. That car is just so sharp. We're going to close in on that car here just a little bit if we can. Keep it in here. I just, oh man, I don't know. I love the white one, and this is just the black one. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is just, oh, it's so sharp. And this car is scalding hot. Whoops, let's not damage it. I think I put a Piranha in this one instead of an MX-16, but just everything about this car is just beautiful, including the fact that the original guide is in here still. Well, let's see what we have here, right? There might be some spare pieces underneath there. Hang on. Got some tape to deal with here. Typically, to scale auto cars, you got some language in different languages. Some writing in different languages at the bottom. And I'm going to take a gamble. This might be... Oh, come on. Oh, what might this be? This is rather interesting. I don't recall this last time. Oh, you know what that is? That's another spring for the guide. Their guides come screwed in, but spring loaded, which I don't like. I don't have any elevations that I'm worried about the guide needing to be pressed lower, but that's a bonus to have that extra spring. So sure, I'll take advantage of it. All right, now let's take a look. Oh my gosh, just the stunning nature of that car, all in black. And just wait until I do the tires. You know, this is Michelin Pilot Sports. Maybe I'll do my decal docks from Germany, or wait for it. Wait for it, George. Maybe, with the assistance of George's findings, that maybe I'll use the markers and go with Harry's circumstance and give ourselves the old tire dots and whatever else, the yellow and blues that are needed for the Michelin tire. But this car is just absolutely, absolutely stunning. Boy, I could tell you right now, man, this, wow, let's get it out of this. Let's get it out of the case. This car was short-lived, of course, right? They make M8s still, but they don't race them. We all know that the M4 is the raced car. And of course, it's scale auto, and so I should have known better and been prepared. But if any scale auto car is screwed into the box, so we'll need to grab the old Phillips aught or double aught. Love the sharpness. I love the red. I love the red mirrors. It's almost like they just decided to go the opposite M series markup from the previous year, obviously. And this is Rahal Letterman. Rahal RLL Racing. I'm not going to claim to know anything other than Rahal and David Letterman are involved in it, and I can't think of what the other L is. And sadly, they're not going to run the hypercar anymore. It's going to now be run by factory. But at the time, they had back-to-back winners, right? This was 2020, and this is 2019. And my goodness, that is just absolutely gorgeous. I look at this one and I love it, and then I look at this one and I may love it more just because the black and the black with the M is just so stunning in the M livery with the BMW M livery. Oh my gosh, that is just absolutely a stunning car. And these cars, it's, you know, it almost seems like absurd to, in the modern world, if you buy an 8 Series or a 6 Series BMW and you don't get it in a sedan and you only get it in a coupe. But my goodness, this car is just, it's gorgeous. And this is a five-year-old car. They didn't change the body style too much. I guess, you know, we all can see the front of the BMWs are a little bit different on the grill these days. But again, you've got the scale auto floating guide with the spring inside of there. I'll keep the scale auto guide most likely. You've got their wonderful chassis. You do get it in the medium. All of the scale auto cars typically come with the medium chassis, and you just have to try it out. You know, I used to not be the biggest fan of the medium chassis, but then I run my pod maybe a little bit stiffer, but I still run some tape across it and there's some decent flexion. You know, we're going to do some standard things that we did to that white BMW there. We're certainly going to widen the stance in the front. We're obviously going to put silicone tires on it. We're going to have to become class compliant for GT high performance on this track in the class that we run, which is either a slotted MX-16 or a Piranha at 21.5 to 23K RPM motor. And honestly, you know, maybe some weight up front, but these cars just out of the box, they have such a great handle. I'll link to the video at the end of this where I took this car right here directly out of the box and threw it on the track. And even though this little Sprinter or whatever this particular one is, that's got a little bit too much torque for our needs on this track. Car still drove great out of the box. They're just Scale Auto again. I said it once, I say it again, and maybe it's not quickly becoming. Maybe Scale Auto cars are now bang for buck my favorite slot cars. I still have a time and a place to grab an NSR, and I still have a time and a place to grab a Slotted, and then cascade from there. And I love my Thunder slots, of course, a lot of the time when we do Can-Am. But when it comes to the hypercars and it comes to these GT Le Mans, GT3 cars, I mean, come on, what's not to love about that? You've just got such a beautiful chassis. You've got such fine detail on these cars. Scale Auto was just doing amazing work on the details. And sure, of course, I'm going to take the Posca pen, or I'm going to take that, probably the Posca pen. I won't waste the good ink on the thin markers that George turned me on to. I'll take a Posca pen and I'll make that black. I'll make the whole entire side here, pardon me, make the whole entire side black, and the same thing on the diffuser area up front here, just so you can't see any of that. It'll just look even sharper. But my goodness, that is just, like I said, I feel like I've been waiting for this car forever, but they're going to be just outstanding. Just had to have, I had to have both of them. I absolutely had to have both of them. So throw some specs up here on the screen about these cars. Give you a link listing. Listen, get it wherever you want to. I just wanted to let everybody know that Amanda's Hobbies is out there, and give them a shot if you're interested. Obviously, they're trying to attract some business with some of the discounts that they're doing and to build a reputation. But I'll tell you something, I pre-ordered it and it showed up. It showed up within 3 days of them receiving the car. That's great customer service. So I have no beefs about that, and I think this is the third car that I've gotten from there in that time frame. So give them a try, or wherever you have to go get your Scale Auto hypercars or your GT3, GT Le Mans cars, enjoy them, because these Scale Auto cars, especially the R series here, or the Pro series, which is the hypercars, are just outstanding cars, bang for your buck. You're going to spend $90. You might even spend $100 if you don't get it before you find it at the right place or the wrong place, depending on what you think about that. But at the end of the day, everything is so well thought out in these cars, and I just can't see how you won't enjoy these cars. So thanks for watching, and I will be absolutely tuning this car up, hopefully as similarly and with just as great a performance as this one over here. I can't wait to get some laps on this car.
Well, thanks for joining me. A little bit of a brief update about the car selection that I've been making lately, and tuning videos to come where applicable. Clearly, I've been into BMWs lately. So yeah, the M8, the M6, just great cars. It doesn't really matter. The details from both Sideways and from Scale Auto on the cars themselves are fantastic, and they're both highly, highly tunable cars. And the Trans Am, just, I mean, come on, again, you know me. It says Castrol on it. So thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, give me some likes, leave me some feedback, and don't forget, turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching.
If you don't subscribe to Hobbit Racing, I'll poke you with my staff. Pokey, pokey, pokey.
She will poke you with her staff.
Pokey!